Hey guys, welcome back to Rain Day Gaming. My name's Rain Day and welcome to Get Ready. This is a series I wanted to put together based on the new God Chiron coming out. Now I'll be showing you all of Chiron's abilities and talking about them before he actually comes out, and I think this is a really good opportunity. You see, most times when I play a new god, I kind of have to sit there for the first two games and be like, what the hell am I doing? So with Get Ready, this series is supposed to provide you with detailed insight on my opinions for Chiron before you actually play him. That means we'll discuss builds, we'll discuss his abilities, and we'll discuss tips, tricks, and strategies that I've come up with so far having seen the god in action. That way, when you pick him up on the first day he's available, you'll know what you're doing. Alright, let's get to it. Chiron's passive is called Herbal Medicine. Basically, every 12 seconds, Chiron collects herbs for a poultice, which ultimately increase the healing he receives by a maximum of 30%, 10% for each poultice he's carrying with him. Now, when he uses an ability, it consumes a poultice, but it also heals the lowest health ally within 30 units by 30 plus 5 health per god level over 5 seconds. Now, what this means to me is that Chiron is going to fare significantly better in lane with other gods who have healing abilities next to him. Now, it also means he can dish out some healing by himself to other teammates, but it's not really going to be anything memorable. Don't look for him to be a healer. I think this is really just to showcase that he'll be very strong in a duo lane with someone like a Sylvanas. The developers actually spoke about a Sylvanas-Chiron combo specifically, so we may see a lot of that in the early part of his release. Now, Chiron's first ability is called Training Exercise. Chiron warns his teammates to evade the area, removing crowd control effects so they can escape before it explodes, damaging and crippling all enemies in the area. Now, this ability has 3 important aspects to it. 1, the initial cleanse for your teammates. 2, the delayed damage effect. And 3, the cripple effect on top of that delayed damage. My goal when playing Chiron will be to overwhelm an opponent with a couple of other abilities or teammates and then try to capture them with this cripple to really secure the kill and put them in a bad spot. Trying to initiate with this ability on a moving enemy will be a difficult task, and most likely not succeed. However, with 290 base damage plus 80% of your physical power, this will be a pretty nice wave clear. Chiron's second ability is called Masterful Shot. Chiron passively marks his enemies as targets when he damages them with basic attacks or his ultimate Centaurus, reducing their physical protections by 3%. He may activate this ability to fire seeking arrows at all marked targets within range, damaging them and slowing them for 3 seconds. Now, since Masterful Shot consumes the target on the enemy, you will actually be trading off the physical protection debuff to do the straight damage and the slow, which could be good in most scenarios, but in certain scenarios may not be as good. For instance, if you and another physical attack damage god are wailing on another enemy god who's stunned, say by an Emir freeze, that 3% physical protection debuff will actually help you more than that slow or that extra little bit of damage most likely during that time. Now, I can see Masterful Shot being a great tool to not only catch up with enemies but also flee, considering if a target is marked, you don't have to be facing them to actually fire and then slow them for 35% for 3 seconds. Not only that, you can lay down your training exercise underneath you where you're running, and the enemies will be forced to either take that damage and be crippled or retreat from pursuing you. Also, consider a team fight where Chiron can actually basic attack 3 to 4 members of the team, and then apply a group 35% slow onto all of them if they're within range. This sounds pretty deadly and can definitely shape the outcome of a team fight if that were to happen. If you take into account that his next ability is a dash, Chiron seems like he's going to be a hard hunter to actually pin down. Now, Chiron's third ability, called Giddyup, is actually one of the most interesting dashes and forms of CC I've seen Smite introduce. Basically, Chiron gallops forward, damaging enemies, knocking up minions, and kicking enemy gods behind him. Chiron can also basic attack while charging. Now, this introduces something new that hasn't been done before in Smite, namely the fact that no other god can basic attack while dashing. Secondly, not only is Chiron's dash pretty long, he actually knocks back opponents he gallops through a pretty far distance. I mean, farther than I was anticipating when I first read the description of this ability. I could see this being a deadly form of CC and just the worst thing to happen if you're retreating and a Chiron happens to catch up with you and knock you back into the people you were retreating from. I see a lot of setup potential with this ability, and I actually am so excited about it to see how it translates and combos with other gods. Chiron's ultimate ability is called Centaurus. Chiron is transformed into a constellation and can fire 3 long-distance shots even through walls. If Chiron would be killed during this ability, he does not die until he runs out of time or shots. Killing an enemy in this state returns Chiron to life with health equal to the damage dealt instead. Now this is kind of mind-blowing, but what they're saying is that Chiron can go into kind of an invulnerable state when he decides to fire his ultimate, and even if he is killed in the process, he has the opportunity to kill someone else. And if he does, he returns to life with the amount of health equal to the damage he dealt to that enemy he killed. That makes for a pretty hard hunter to box, especially if it gets down to the wire. He could just pop his ultimate and have you even kill him and still emerge victorious. This ultimate is super unique and fucking awesome, making it very hard to kill Chiron if he plays it right. As far as builds for Chiron, I'm probably going to start out with Warrior Tabi, Devourer's Gloves, Executioner, Malice, and Rage, not necessarily in that order, and fill it in with an item of my choice that depends on the situation. That'll do it for our episode of Get Ready, featuring Chiron here at Rain Day Gaming. If you enjoyed this kind of content, please give a like and a subscribe and comment down below to let me know what you like about this series and if you'd like to see more. As always, never give up, never stop gaming, and I'll see you next time.